Just a few years ago, my life was so upside down. You know how sometimes life threw you curveball, and in a very short time of period, I lost almost everything that has defined me as a person. My home, family, a sense of belonging, the marriage, and with that also friendships. I was in such a bad stage emotionally, mentally, and physically. I had to leave where my family is with my children. So I just packed my bag and not knowing where exactly I would go and for how long I would be moving around. And as a consequence, I found myself drifting almost like a ghost, moving through a country that wasn't mine, traveling alone, driving from east to west. All the way in this almost 3 years period, I was trying to understand who I was without the life I had always known. I know this kind of disorientation, my situations, is not unique. So many of you might have go through the same moments in your life through different kind of crisis, quote unquote. And sometimes these crises came very quietly, and sometimes it was just like a shock. The main point is, where we once held our life together, it just no longer sustainable anymore. Maybe like a career that once makes sense and we start to feel empty, really dragging to go into office. Or in a social circle that people we have known for years, and it feels unfamiliar. I remember very well one Christmas dinner. I felt like a ghost among other 20 people that I have known for the last 10 years, 20 years. And I was totally ignored. And that was the moment I promised myself, I will never sit in a table that I am not welcome. So with that, there are roles that we were worn like a badge we carried for years. It suddenly feels very tight or false and even exhausting. On the surface, we can still function. We can still show up when we are being asked. But inside, something just doesn't feel right anymore. And that was exactly how I felt. And my body was telling me I wasn't in the right place. But the point is, when we are in those kind of situations, it's not like we have clear answers. The only thing we can do is keep on moving. And endurance of what is happening surrounding us. So I kept going because I didn't know the other way. After I made the decision to leave this place, traveling, there was one thing always staying with me that carried me forward, and it was love. Not the romantic love, and not even the idea of love, but it is the stubborn, very profound love that I have for myself, that I refuse to disappear for me, for myself. When everything else fell away, I know many of you know what kind of love I'm talking about. Maybe you didn't name it at that moment. It is the part of me that keep breathing when I was so exhausted. Part of me that is saying, I don't know how it will be, but I won't abandon myself. It's exactly that love that brings me here today with you. I found this place in the Tuscany hills near Vinci, near Florence, after I came back. After 3 years of drifting by myself. And sometimes I ask myself, did I find this place or this place found me? The first time when I look at this house, that there is something that speaks to my heart directly. And I have such clear vision of how I want to live my life here in this new house, in this new place. What I want to do in this garden. So here I am, trying to rebuild a kind of new life, not from the past, not from the old, but the one that make my heart sing. I think that is what a second life truly begins, what a second life truly is. Because choosing a new way of living is not even romantic. It is so hard, so much hard work. Everything fall on your shoulder. Every daily decisions is on you alone. To tell you the truth, I really didn't think I was capable of taking up so much responsibility for myself. Now, after so many months, almost 6 months that I am in this house, my life is taking a shape with my gardens, my animals. I work according to the weather, and it asks so much physical presence. I swear to God, so much patience too. Like these few days, it's raining non-stop. But when I am taking care of my vegetable, the chickens, the duck, when I walk my dog, when I cook my favorite food, working on my new book, everything, I just let a very slow rhythm take me along without trying to push. Yet every day it feels so full, even though life is not easy. Sometimes I think there's something many people misunderstand, that stepping outside the usual rhythm of the society, it doesn't really make life easier. If people really try to look beyond the surface, it is very demanding. Honestly, we are exposed to every decisions that we make. At the end of the day, there's no one here to oppose, no external validation, no one's trying to say to you, keeping up. And yet, the satisfaction, that little accomplishment of every little things, just fill my heart. Because of living a life that is not competitive, not pushing, not trying to show or validate, it becomes so much lighter in my heart, in my body. There's so much space to notice my emotions and my thoughts instead of suppressing them. A space without external noise that's trying to drown my own feelings. I can feel grief, confusion, or even relief without the need to fix it immediately. And so I allow myself to feel according to my own rhythm. While many people today, I think they are overwhelmed, it's not because they are weak. It is because they are overloaded by so many inputs, so many expectations from our friends and families, and at the same time, so many identities that we have to maintain as ones, like being a mother, a wife, a colleague, a sister, all at the same time, in one person, in one body. And I lived that way for a long time. The fact that now I am in this part, that second life journey, it's like all of this being stripped away. Slowly, gently, but I assure you, very firmly. I started to reclaim all the pieces of myself that I didn't even realize I have lost. I didn't listen to my own intuitions and my tolerance to so many things. And now, when I have doubt, I stop rushing to understand everything at once. I think that changed a lot. I stopped needing to be productive in every instance of my life. Imagine it. I think many people really long for it, desire it. Maybe you cannot name it yet, but that we are hoping that mental freedom around us, within us. Because we live in a world that constantly asking us to define who we are, to optimize the result, and to explain the hell of who and what we are. How we can be useful, to be visible. You know what? At this moment, I am in a space that is opposite. That to become quiet enough to hear my own thoughts, to feel my feelings, and to let it out without shame. And that is what the second life is. A life that I have chosen consciously after everything that came before it, that I experienced it. And this channel, Genevieve Grove, that is a space that how I want to share with you through everyday living. The reflections in this new life, in this new world. Reflections and thoughts, they come while I'm walking or planting or just sitting down. looking at my dog or the chickens. In sharing how we move through emotions without becoming numb. And how can we stay authentic without hardening our heart? How we can remain present without disappearing from ourselves, actually. And you may recognize something here that speaks to you. It's not because we lived the same life, but maybe you find the questions I am asking today, or the feelings of being tired of performing for the outside world. Maybe deep down, you start to feel the desire to live in a way that is honest and authentic to who you are. That sense that something inside you is asking for a different rhythm, a tiny recognition. In this space, talking like two friends, to feel less alone, that you are not alone in this world. And this is where I am now. This is my second life. From my heart to yours, Genevieve.